In this lesson, we will learn 4 things: phrase pronunciation of John 1:1b, 2 new Greek letters, accents, and diphthongs. Kai halagas, aim prostan thean. 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 Now you may recall in our last lesson in John 1:1a, we learned Greek characters. If you would like to learn the Greek alphabet in its entirety, look in my list of videos available and you'll see the Greek alphabet. Feel free to play that and memorize the Greek characters. I will be progressing through the Greek alphabet as we study each phrase, and eventually we will cover all the Greek alphabet in the inductive study. Well, let's get started. The 3 Greek letters that are unique to this phrase are the kappa, tau, and theta. The kappa in the word kai, which means and in Greek, has the initial sound ka. It is the English equivalent to the K sound. The second Greek letter is the Greek letter tau. This letter can be found as the initial character in the word tan. Tan means the. It is equivalent to our English T, as in Tom. Well, you're probably wondering, what about that third letter there? We haven't learned that, and you're absolutely right. It's the theta, and the theta is equivalent to the English blended sound of T and H, the sound, like in those, this, theology. In this section, we're going to talk about Greek accents. This is a very 30,000 foot level, very cursory. We're not going to get into a great deal of depth with accents. To let you know that there are 3 accents in Greek. We have the acute, the grave, and the circumflex. Accents are placed on syllables. There's only 1 accent in a word in 1 syllable. There may be 1 exception to that, but we're not gonna, that's for a different study. Let's talk about the purpose of the accent. The purpose of the accent can be twofold. First, the accent tells you how to control the pitch of your voice. Either your voice is going to rise, or is going to fall, or is going to rise and then fall. The other purpose of the accent is to indicate what syllable receives the stress. I said before there are 3 different types of accents in Greek. Let's talk about the first type. The first type of accent is called the acute, and the acute simply indicates to the speaker to heighten the pitch of their voice. The second accent is called the grave, and the grave, I like to think of it as grave, is going into the grave, so you're lowering the pitch of your voice. And then the one that's I think is most curious to me is the circumflex. And the circumflex, as indicated by its symbol, is kind of a semicircle, and it shows that you heighten the pitch of your voice and then you cause your voice to fall. So it's kind of a rocker motion. Again, we don't spend a lot of time with Greek accents at this level. So if you do want to know more about accents, you might want to look at a Greek morphology book to learn more. Diphthongs are 2 vowel sounds blended into 1 sound. The first vowel sound is always an opened sound. It requires the mouth to be open. Vowels such as alpha, eta, omicron, omega, epsilon, and even upsilon are considered opened vowels. The second vowel is a closed vowel. The vowels that would fit into the second position would be the iota and the upsilon. Remember, diphthongs create 1 sound. So the alpha iota creates the I sound. The epsilon iota creates the A sound. The omicron iota creates the oi sound. The alpha and upsilon creates the ah sound. The omicron in upsilon creates the u sound. Upsilon iota creates the ui sound, and the epsilon upsilon or epsilon upsilon creates the uit sound, like in Freud. And that one's a little bit harder for me to pronounce. Another diphthong used with a small iota or a subscripted iota is known as an improper diphthong. You usually see the improper diphthong as the last letter of the word. The iota subscript is always tied to 3 open vowels. The open vowels are alpha, eta, and omega. You should know that the iota is not pronounced, and again, it's the last letter in a word. You might make a note for future reference. Nouns that have the iota subscript are in the dative case. As the Greek language evolved, the writing of the iota subscript was dropped. And according to William Mounce, the author of The Basics of Biblical Greek Grammar, the dropping of the iota occurred around 100 BC. And he does make note in his morphology book that there still are some writings as late as 1100 AD. The last diphthong that we are going to look at is called the diaeresis, which means to separate. Usually when two vowels come together, they blend their sounds into one sound. With the diaeresis, the two vowels stand as separate and they are pronounced separately. The two dots over the last vowel in the diphthong or the diaeresis indicates that it should be pronounced as two separate sounds. Kai halagas aim prastan thean. Kai halagas aim prastan thean. Kai halagas aim prastan thean. Kai halagas aim prastan thean.